The responses and the amount of closes that I've got from this video follow-up tactic are unreal. In this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to make as much money as physically possible as a sales rep. There are three main components to making as much money as physically possible in sales, and it's pretty simple. Like, you sell more expensive shit, you increase your close rate, as in you close more people that you talk to than you do not talk to. And then lastly, you just simply take more calls. So sell more expensive shit, increase your close rate, as in close as many people as possible that you talk to. And then lastly, talk to more people. And I'm going to be breaking down each and every one of these points in depth so you can get value from it. And if you're new to the channel, my name's Garrett Campbell. I own Better Endeavors. It is a business that has a sales training that also places people guaranteed into high-paying sales positions. I've done over $6 million in sales. I had a 60% close rate through a bulk of my career, and I've trained and placed over 110 sales reps into high-quality businesses. But without further ado, let's dive into things. I remember when I was selling like $1,000 packages, like $1,500 packages, and I had this misconception in my head that it was somehow just extremely harder to like sell more expensive things like $5,000, $10,000, $40,000. And although the person you may be talking to is a tad bit more complex and a little bit more intelligent than, you know, someone who's potentially buying like $1,000 package, it's not harder, it's actually easier. It's easier because the type of buyer that spends anywhere from $10,000 to $40,000 has made multiple buying decisions and continues to make buying decisions all the friggin' time. It's more than likely that they're a business owner if they're spending that amount of money. And it's less about do they have the money, like they have the money in the bank. It's just simply like, is it worth it? And if you can communicate ROI, they tend to be more logical thinkers. They're just like, all right, well, if it makes sense, I'll just do it. Like I have the money. So they have more money. They don't have fear around making the wrong decision or, you know, making buying decisions as a whole. They do it on a very frequent basis. So if it makes sense, they're just going to do it. And they're usually go-getters that pull the trigger and they're not afraid of taking action. So selling more expensive things is actually easier. And it takes the exact same amount of time to sell expensive shit as it is cheap shit. You just make more money. Like if you have, let's say you're on 10% commission, right? And you're selling a $1,000 package. You literally have to close 10 deals to make $1,000. Whereas if you have a $10,000 package that you sell, you're on 10% commission, you close one deal in a 30, 45 minute call, like boom, there's your $1,000. So it's actually way faster to make that amount of money. And you can close less deals and still make more money. So it's actually just way less effort for the money because it's easier on the call. They make buying decisions all the time, so it's not that big of a deal to them. And you take less calls to make the same amount, or more than likely, way more money. It's just like a higher leverage activity to sell more expensive things. My earning capacity went from 4, 5, 6K a month to like 15, 20, 25, 30K a month when I started selling more expensive things. And obviously I got better at sales, which we're about to talk about, but the simple thing of just doing less and making more was by selling more expensive shit. The second way to make as much money as physically possible in sales is to simply like increase your closing rate. I had this misconception that it was extremely hard and would be so much more time consuming. I have to grind out like 15, 16 hour days to make a lot of money in sales. And it literally takes the same amount of time to get someone to say yes versus no. Like you take a 45-minute sales call and they say, no, your pitch sucked. Like it still took 45 minutes. If you take 45 minutes and they say yes and they buy, same amount of time. Like it takes an equal amount of time and arguably effort to get someone to pull the trigger and buy. And it was a big misconception I had to get around as I was making more and more money in sales. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to work all these hours. I would actually, work less than some of the people who made less than me, and I would still make way more than them because I close more deals. And the second way to improve your close rate is to detach from the outcome. My video editor, we were just on a phone call. He was looking to charge more for his services. And he was like, hey, how do I ask for $3,000, $4,000? Like when I get time to actually give the price, I get so nervous and I don't know how to, drop the price with confidence. And the thing that I told him is, you're good at editing, right? Like I know you're good at editing. So why do you have this feeling around actually dropping the price? And what it came down to was that he wanted the client so bad and he wanted them to say yes so bad that he had anxiety around actually dropping the price. And what I told him was, dude, you're good. Like, your worth. Like, it is a privilege for this client to get to work with you. So drop it and like let your fucking nuts hang, dude. Like, who cares if they say no? Like, It is such a privilege for them to work with you. You shouldn't even be a worry. And I think this translates so well into like relationships. Like, imagine you have a girl that you like right now and you're just blowing up her DMs like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. You're so amazing. Can we please go on a date? I'll do anything to get you on a date. She's gonna be like, what is wrong with this dude? Like, he's so like pushy. He's kind of creepy. Like he won't just stop hitting me up. Like, this guy clearly like, isn't like a high value dude. Like, he probably can't get with very many girls. That's why he's acting like this. Like, it's really weird, right? It's the same thing in business. It's like, I'll edit your videos. I'll even do extra work. I'll do all the posting. I'll do all this. I'll even make thumbnails for you. I'll give you all and I'll do it for only $100. Is that okay? It's like, you're just conveying, it's like, oh wow, like this dude seems so needy to get a client, to get a sale. Like, maybe he's not that good at what he does. Like, he needs me really bad as a client. Like, it's kind of a red flag. Like, he probably doesn't have very many clients. Maybe it's because he sucks at video editing. Maybe I'm not going to work with the guy, right? It's weird. It's like, the more you push them away, the more they want you. So you need to genuinely not care about closing the deal, but simply solving their problem, whether it's with or without you. And we're like, dude, to be honest, like, you could use me as a video editor, but what I think you really need is an in-house like content team. And they'll be like, wait, so you won't give me an offer? So the point being is, the more that you push people away, the more that they actually want you. So when you're going through the calls trying to disqualify people, I call it objection-seeking questions. After I go through my whole pitch, I'll be like, Ryan, from everything that you've heard, do you think there'd be any reason as to why this wouldn't work for you? And I ask all these questions to be like, like, would it not work for you? Like, no, honestly, I don't see there being a single reason as to why this wouldn't work for me. I'd be like, you sure? Like, I know you kind of said this, and this. Like, I'll ask objection-seeking questions to try to get them to say they don't want it. So I have an objection to actually work with. And I genuinely don't care if they buy it or not. It takes kind of like not needing the sale to make it easier to get the sale. And if you can make this shift to where your sales call is more like a job interview than like a sales call, sales gets really fucking easy. And then the last way to improve your close rate is to simply have killer follow-ups. I would love to say I have a 100% close rate. I close every single person that gets on the phone, but that is not reality. There are some people who just will not close on the first call. Shit happens. That's where your job really comes into play. So here are 3 extremely effective follow-ups so you can close those people who don't close on the first call. Number 1 would be a video deadline. This is honestly one of my favorites. So let's say I have a call with John on a Monday and he's like, hey, things are great and all. I really just need to kind of think things over. I need to reconvene with my business partner. We're kind of shopping around right now. So once I'm done with all that, I'll let you know, okay? Let's say we get through the call. We're like, okay, cool, whatever. Wednesday hits. It's been 2 days. I'd be like, hey, John, and literally I'm just holding up my phone. Hey, John, I know you and your business partner said you wanted to speak, but I knew improving your sales ability was something that was actually important to you. So knowing this is important to you, you've probably been actively shopping around quite a bit. You probably know what offers are out there on the market. So with that being said, I'm going to give you till Friday to give me a direct yes or no on if you're going to do it or not. Because to be transparent, the people that do the best with working with me, they're not wishy-washy. They're not half in, they're half out. They just pull the trigger and do things. They pay on the call. Those are the clients that get the best results. So what I don't want is you have 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out of the door, and half-ass working with me, and then blame your half-ass effort on me as to why you're not getting results. So for that reason, I need a definite yes or no by Friday. If by Friday I don't hear back from you, you're just not allowed in the program because that's just not who we roll. That's not who we work with. I hope you understand. And, hopefully you find another one of those little sales trainings, you could potentially work with. Cool? Cool. So notice how I'm not like, I need you to join by Friday. It's like, there's plenty of other guys that do what I do. If you're shopping around, maybe you find one of those little other guys, that you can buy one of their little things. Like if that's what you're into. But you said this was important to you. You said you're actively looking for a solution. So I've given you an ample amount of time. I need a direct yes or no by then because the clients that get the best results just take action and pull the trigger. And I don't want clients that are not action takers that blame that stuff on me. So it's logical. It's not like, fuck you, like you know what I mean? It's not like just like shit or get off the pot. It's kind of like, I just want you to win. I want my clients to win. I want a high success rate. And you're showing me characteristics of people who have a low success rate. So maybe I really hope that's not the case. You're shopping around. It's logical. It makes sense. But you have an ample amount of time. Pull the trigger. Give me a yes or no. The responses and the amount of closes that I've got from this video follow-up tactic are unreal. It's like, Garrett, oh my God, I'm so sorry. We've been crazy busy. Like I said on the call, we've been swamped. We're ready to go. I talked with my partner. I was meaning to text you. Thanks for following up with me. I'm by no means wishy-washy. I'm ready to get things going. And they're back to selling you again. Because again, it's that frame of, we don't need the sale, dude. Like, you need the sale. You said you needed help. I want to help. And then it makes closing so easy. Another one would be a FOMO-based follow-up. So this is gonna be done by getting a client result from inside your program, your marketing service, whatever it is that you're selling. And it's be like, hey, Ryan, I saw that you were struggling with, improving your closing rate or maybe hiring like a closer. I wanted to show you my client, John here. John actually runs a marketing agency just like yourself, and we've actually hired 3 closers for him and scaled his sales team from a 20% close rate to a 40% close rate. Now he's doing around about $150,000 a month, and he's crushing. I know he was kind of in the spot that you were in before you got started. This was just about a month ago, and now he's already off to the races and his business is growing like crazy. I wanted you to see this. You kind of learn from what John did. It's just like, hey, he was at where you were at, and now he's here because he pulled the trigger. Like, by the way, where's your business at now? Like, you've already solved the problem. Like, everything's handled, everything's taken care of. And he's like, shit, maybe I should just do it. This guy did what I did. He was in the same spot. Now he's here. I'm still stuck where I was at and where that guy was at. Why don't I just do it? You get this feeling of the fear of missing out, of maybe he was right. Maybe I should do it. You kind of want to give them that sense of FOMO to get them to get back into the game, get the lead back and warmed up and close. Another thing would simply just be a value-based follow-up. The person you sell for, hopefully they have a YouTube channel, much like this. Maybe they have, certain video resources that you can send people. These are crucial and very important, because let's say you're selling a marketing service. Like, hey, we're really just struggling to get leads from Twitter, for example. It's like, hey, we have this one video, strategy on how we get leads from Twitter. I know you're struggling with this, so I wanted to shoot you a really quick 10-15 minute video. I hope it helps. And the idea is to over deliver in the free resource so much that they're like, dude, if this is what's inside the free stuff they're just willing to send to me, what could possibly be inside their paid stuff? Why don't I just work with them? Like, this is so valuable. So if you solve their problem with like free stuff, then they'll work with you to actually implement the stuff when you actually buy and start working together. So these are 3 very effective follow-up tactics that will help improve your close rate. Numero 3, right? The third way to maximize your earning potential as a sales rep is to take more calls. So when you've got to a point where you're selling more expensive stuff, you've increased your close rate. And like, everyone always grills me for this, but it's genuinely possible. What I consider a high close rate is 40, 50, 60%. Above 40%, I consider to be good. 30% is very average. Anything below 30%, below average, in my personal opinion. That's very high for some people, but I have high standards and I close deals. Once you've done these 2 things, the only way to really maximize and really craft things, like I hit a point in my career to where I had a 65% close rate every single month, and I'm scratching my head like, how do I make more money? Like, this is getting hard. Like, I'm at like 25 grand or so a month, and I'm just like, I don't know how to make more. Like, I'm really at a loss right now, but my calls were taking about 45 minutes to an hour, and I'm like, what would happen if I just did everything I was doing now, but I figured out what fluff was in the call and how could I take this from 45 minutes to an hour down to about 30 minutes and just take double the amount of calls? I made more money because I was talking to more people. It's like, let's break down this math right now. Let's say you take 100 sales calls in a month. You have a 50% close rate. You close 50 deals, you make $100 per closed deal, you make 5K. You take 200 calls, same numbers, 50%. Okay, now you make 10K. You literally made double just by simply taking double the amount of calls. So the math is pretty simple on paper, but how do we effectively actually do this? I want you to review all of your call recordings and go through what's the fluff. Like, when I'm watching my call recordings and I see the prospect kind of just looking off into the distance, kind of checking their phone, they're kind of writing stuff on the paper, like, where are they mentally checking out? And maybe that shit's just not important, even if you think it is. Let me cut that stuff out of the call, see if I can reduce the time frame for this call and still have the same amount of value and still have the same close rate. When you do this, you'll actually make the call more effective, more value-packed, and maintain the same close rate so you can take more calls. The second way of this being done is, as a salesperson, you don't have full control on the marketing of the company. So selling for an offer with an overflow of leads with really good marketing, good lead flow, is obviously a great way to pack out the calendar. Not every business can double the amount of calls on your calendar. That's why selling for a very high quality business is critical in you making a lot of money in sales. And then lastly, this is just like playing chess instead of checkers. I make really good friends with the appointment setters inside the business. We are best friends and I have a damn high close rate and they make money off of closed deals. So they want to feed my calendars anyway, just by simply having a high close rate. But I'll make friends with them, dude. I'm like, yo, what'd you do this weekend? Like, how's everything going? Like, you remember that one lead? Yeah, I don't know how I closed him. Like, that guy was, really hard to work with. I'll just make friends. I'll banter. I'll find out their sense of humor. I'll really get to know them. And I'll be like, hey, dude, if you have any killer leads that are coming across the pipeline and you got to decide who's it going to go to, you should really consider me. And you don't even really have to ask. Just by default, numbers talk. So if you're like, hey, my close rate's here, I'm the best sales rep on the sales team. If there's an open slot and you have a good lead, fill them on my calendar. If they make more money, the more deals you close. So they want to put the best appointments on the best closer's calendar. So they have the highest likelihood of making the most money. So making friends with the setters is very essential in maximizing your earning potential as a sales rep. That's it for this video. Those are the 3 ways to make the most money as a sales rep. And just to recap, you sell more expensive shit, you increase your closing rate by improving your sales ability, and lastly, you take more sales calls. So if you're looking to improve your sales ability and you're also looking to make more money in sales just as a whole, you need to join the Closing Bible. It's my program, it's my business. It's where we have a sales training and then we have guaranteed placement into high quality remote sales positions that pay multi-6 figures. If you found value, please subscribe. We're gonna have tons of videos just like this every single week. We're gonna be posting consistent videos. And lastly, comment below any unique tricks, tactics, things that I may have left out that you've used to improve your close rate to make more money in sales.